aside from the random incidental dialogue about increasingly specific things, I just like how the party members in this game just act, like how they play. I like that there's this entire class system that we never get to use. It's just there, and you can see that Emily just really likes punching things. We'll see other characters getting into their own gimmicks. It's great. We, on the other hand, will never log out.
Well, of course, we're not cowards.
We're just too online for that.
But yeah, the game is doing the thing where it reminds us that actually, this is a game inside the game.
And it's just very, very subtly reminding you, the player, that, hey, do you want to consider maybe taking a break?
Yeah, to which we also respond with that we are not cowards and we will never log off.
Admittedly, the game doesn't make a point of this, of like doing it a lot. It's just like a single time that it makes the illusion. And honestly, I respect it more for that.
Did we ever actually talk about these fucking little moles? Because they're...
Oh, I kind of skipped over it, the single time that one was fought on camera, and now we've run into the upgraded version of them, and I hate them.
They're great. They're fantastic. You can only hit them when they're above ground, and they always run away from you, and if you're lucky, they'll give you an opportunity to stun them like half the time after they surface.
Yeah, they've got, like, they're very mechanic-y. Here, by the way, is what it's like trying to get rare flowers. You usually have to make good shots to get them. But yeah, those guys, they're dodgy, basically, is what they do. You can shoot them, like, after they surface, and most of the time, if they dodge 3 times in a row, they become vulnerable. You hit them with a charged shot, and they become stunned, and then you finish them. The problem is, while they're dodging around, they will be throwing stuff at you, and the upgraded guys will set you on fire. Also, I don't know what the hell is up with this cave. Why is this cave like this? Why do none of these ricochets just work? Like, I think it's an actual gimmick here that they've got all these shots that look like, oh, there's just an easy ricochet, but they never work. I hate it. I hate this cave. Like, what the hell was that?
I don't even know how that actually worked.
Like, there's a part of me that dimly suspects that that's actually, like, deliberate by the game, is that it wants you to make a bullshit trick shot here just to drive home the fact that you can make these weird bouncing shots, and the game just goes with it. Anyway, the point of this was just to get a unique item. It's gonna be a while before we can actually craft that, but every area has a couple of, like, particular unique items. This was one, the Master Ball was another. And those are basically, as you can probably guess, all crafting ingredients. Here's how you kill these things, by the way. It's pretty much just get those shots in and try not to get set on fire, because if you get set on fire, well, you know. Anyway, enjoy me, like, being on the edge of peril for, like, a continuous minute. But also enjoy so when you hit S rank, like, nothing really meaningfully changes. Like, it's still the same game, you're still doing the same stuff, you're still fighting the same enemies, and they're still as hard, but somehow everything's just awesome, and you just have the willpower to just continue for like a straight hour. It's incredible. It's just some particles and some music. And I almost died.
I was gonna say, you have the willpower and the drive to continue right up until you get hit for the 18th time by a fucking mole from off camera and you die.
Yeah, those guys and their camera bullshit, they're quite something. It's not just like the off camera, it's they will hide behind stuff in the environment. Those guys, like, they just find places to hit you. I hate them. I hate them so much. Anyway, here's a weirdly prominent landmark. And also, here's gonna be a case of some timing. Like, for at least 4 seconds, I thought that I triggered that quest by examining the door, but actually it was just to pick up. This, by the way, see if you can spot the continued theme, is gonna be something we're not gonna be able to fully resolve until later, and this is definitely a backer NPC. Yep. CrossCode. But yeah, incidentally, items, when they drop, if you, one way or another, you will always pick up any item that drops. If you wait a while, it'll float over to you, and if you leave the screen, you'll just collect it. And this has got to be a reference to something, but I don't recognize it. Do you recognize it?
I cannot say that I do.
Oh well. Someone will recognize it. By the way, I walked like within a couple pixels of actually being able to pick that up on the first time through here, but I completely missed it. This was one of our quests from town. We have to do a fight here. It's like, at this point, it's not really much of anything. Although this is the most screen time that the regular version of these moles, they're called hillcats by the way, has actually gotten. But yeah, we get our trinket and we move on. You'll notice a lot of the time that the main path through every area is just called something like Pathway 1, Pathway 2, etc, etc. So you can use that to get a good sense of whether or not you're on the main path, or whether or not you're exploring. Which is neat. And yeah, the deeper you go into this area, the more completely onto its bullshit the game gets. I think their favourite trick is having like a pretty unremarkable looking staircase at some point in an environment. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just the staircase, it's the way forward. The game likes to make you not even actually bother to process the fact that you're climbing up an elevation when you climb up some stairs. Also, yeah, obligatory Mario Kart. Thanks. It does this kind of thing all the time. There is like 10 or 20 different ways that this game has of just giving you just these slight, subtle ways of going up an elevation and seeing whether or not you notice. I love it. I mean, I hate it, but also I love it, you know? Really just maximally on its bullshit.
That's a lot of switches.
Oh yeah, sometimes the game's just, nope, this is a puzzle. Deal with it. Of course, we will, stop me if you've heard this one before in CrossCode, have to figure out how to get up there. Also, seriously, I am getting these plants. I will get them. I must shoot every notable plant. Mostly because they drop really good loot. Like, plants in this game, the common ones, as you probably expect, they all have chances to drop stuff, but really the big deal with the rare ones is that they always drop stuff. And the stuff that they drop, just because of how the loot generally works, is always relevant and is always tradable. Here's the probe. I was gonna say that's the last one, but we haven't actually found the last landmark yet. But yeah, a lot of the time, just wandering around these areas just makes you, the player, just appear kind of unhinged. You're walking around, you're trying to find every tiny way to gain a little bit of height. You're just always shooting plants. This game, it inflicts terminal CrossCode brain on you. Anyway, somehow I managed to get up here. I cut the bit that shows how we get up here because I'm going to show it again later.
And then it turns around, and it says, "Okay, motherfucker."
You like jumping? Oh, what's that? You don't like jumping? Well, I'm afraid you're playing the wrong game, motherfucker. And yeah, this is notionally a tester. And really, it's just the game-breaking character to say, like, hey, we want you to jump on a lot of stuff. Fortunately, this isn't really much of a puzzle, it's really just a demonstration. Honestly, this is exactly the kind of thing that this kind of quest in this kind of game should be doing. It's just like, hey, we're gonna make you appreciate that you can do all this stuff. And we're gonna make you think about a million billion different things in the course of doing it. We're gonna teach you without telling you what we're teaching you. Anyway, this is the halfway point, and at this point I don't know why they bother with the second half of this course. It's like, is this even really parkour at this point?
I mean, you did, like... There's a little bit of platforming, like, across the lake, but that's... yeah.
Just a couple of gentle hops. And some running. Well, whatever. Anyway, yeah, we didn't, like, randomly drop dead while doing this, so I guess the game must be working. This is ethical, right? Like, that's definitely the kind of thing that's like, good and valid to be testing live in your game on players.
You know, I appreciate... I'm one with Leah there. I gotta say.
Yeah.
The instant he's like, "So you can help me again," and she just gives him this dirtiest look like, "You what?"
Well, I guess we're a tester now. I mean, I was gonna say, like, oh, if we're gonna be testing the game for it, then he should be fucking paying us. But he is paying us. So, like, I don't know. Honestly, he pays us a lot better than a bunch of the other quests that we've gotten at this point, so...
Also, fuck this guy. Just throwing that out there.
I mean... I can't really disagree with him too much.
I mean,
I don't like how he's... Oh, I can't remember the rest of this, but...
Also, I mean, I just mean that from the perspective of he's literally the developer in-game going...
Oh, absolutely.
Going, hey, you see that chest up there? You want that chest, don't you? Do you want to know how to get it?
Of course.
Well, fuck you.
I mean, like... Did you expect anything else at this point? Like, I don't know. I mean, I love him for the exact reason that you hate him. It's just... It's a developer talking to you through their game, art in conversation with itself. It's a thing to behold. Anyway, we can actually shoot these switches from here, but you know, it's not going to help us much. Also, I absolutely guarantee that this ample of rocks that we're jumping on exists solely in response to player feedback from having jumped down to get that chest and then having to walk the whole long way around to get back. Also, here's jumping to a lower elevation. It gives you a lot of extra jump length, and you are gonna need to remember that because it's pretty central to a couple of later puzzles. Also, I don't know what actually is, like, the deal with this. I don't know if there's some specific way that you're supposed to hit all of these. I just, you know...
It looks like the sort of thing that you could definitely, like, use the charged, like, the Iron Ball special and, like, hit, like, 5 of them at once.
Maybe. I don't know if there's some, like, true, definite way to do it, because you might not have that. They can't really very fairly gate things behind binary choices like that. I don't think anything else in the game requires ever a specific tech to get it to work. Don't fuck up these jumps, by the way. Anyway, our prize for all that is sandwiches. So yeah, looping back around to actually get this thing. Turns out it's some more interesting equipment. I think I said before there are some interesting stat modifiers, and this is one of them. So this thing gives us 25% on assault and minus 25% on scope. Scope is very simple, it just affects how quickly you aim, so I didn't bother to... Okay, I did bother to show that. So yeah, assault, on the other hand, makes us just passively fire little shots while we do attack, and the damage is quantified as being a fraction of our ordinary attack damage. More assault, more damage. It's honestly pretty good numbers-wise. You'll note two things. The final hit of your combo, A, fires multiple assault projectiles, and B, will carry you off an edge if you're on one. You could see there the little numbers coming off of that cowl showing the assault things hitting him. Like, it very much falls into the not-nothing school. I mean, before I move forward, I was like, right, I need to get that chest. How do we get up there? The only place I found to get up there is O. Well, shit. So anyway, we do all that stuff again. This looks like it's a jump down, but it's really not. Elevation in CrossCode, kind of a thing. And we get some lemonade out of that. Honestly, this game is like... You need to be in it for the puzzles. Like... You've got to be in this. It's like Christopher has said, you've got to be in it for the satisfaction of just figuring out how to get it. Because 9 times out of 10, the contents are like, But either you're like me and you already know what you're in this for, or you're not. And if you're like me, you're already playing this game. We know what we're getting into. Now, I have another very important question for you. Do you have an inbuilt bad reaction to the textual representation of the Southern drawl?
Can take it or leave it.
Well, that's fortunate. Anyway, this is why I've been doing so much plant violence.
That's right. The game is giving us a quest to murder literally every plant in Crossworlds.
Now, it might occur to you that the stated level for this quest is 50. And I'm here to tell you, just don't worry about it.
It's going to be a long time before we finish this quest.
Yeah. I mean, all that's actually saying is that you will probably be level 50 at about the time you finally finish this quest, but, like, frankly, I don't know why they bothered at all. Like, it doesn't really have much to do with levels. The tutorial for this is nonsense, so I just stalled in the menu for a bit. I'm gonna roll my own. when you break a plant, once you've broken enough of them, like a small number of them, you'll get the little line of text that tells you roughly where to find them. And then when you collect drops from them, it will show you the full listing of what the drops are. What this boils down to is just break all the plants, and just keep breaking them until you fully analyze them. That's it. It's far simpler than it sounds. Mostly this stuff is just for info, like just sometimes you just want to know exactly what the deal is, but if you don't know that, just keep breaking the plants. It really is that simple.
Like I said, Lady wants us to murder every single plant in the entire game. Don't worry about it.
Also, I said before, the rare plants have a guaranteed chance to drop stuff, so honestly, I think it's actually, it takes a little bit longer usually for me to get the common plants than it does the rare ones. Just by virtue of how it works. Also, now that we have this quest, every time we actually finally check one of those off, we get a little notification about it. It's great, it's like informative, and it's like, it just does all the info satisfaction that I like. I like being notified of stuff by games. I'm not weird, okay? Anyway, this is the final thing that really passes for a big puzzle in Autumn's Rise. I honestly thought that if you didn't use some kind of bullshit trick shot to hit that switch that you wouldn't have enough time to run down here, but no, you can just go for it. It's fine. Anyway, this is the last screen. After this, we're gonna double back and clear out some other side quests. And then we're gonna go and duel Apollo.